So we're here today at Autoclub Speedway with Dan from 9 for 9 Racing. We're driving Button, his S2 car.
The final call for the Orange Group download meeting.
It was a little hectic this
final
morning.
Call.
Dan was late.
Orange Group download meeting.
Exactly on time, which didn't leave enough time.
Exactly.
For prep work.
So let's go take a look at your car, man. All right, Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit about SuperMiata and what this car is about?
Well, SuperMiata is the racing series that we run with Speed Ventures. It's built around a spec rule set, not spec Miata, but spec SuperMiata. We're allowed to have 140 horsepower. Cars have to weigh 2,300 pounds. It's fairly open on update, backdate, NA, NB. You can kind of pick and choose the best NA parts, the best NB parts. This car in particular is a 99 with a 99 motor, 99 brakes, 99 diff. It's got a stock 4.3 Torsen. Only modifications are bolt-ons to the exterior of the motor and an ECU and a fuel pump. So it runs on E85, which is kind of hard to get out here on the West Coast. Makes right out the power cap. I've got some ballast in the floor to hit them in weight.
And you guys are on a spec tire, the Maxxis.
We do run a spec tire. Yep. So currently there's 3 classes in SuperMiata: S1, S2, and S3. Each have varying rule sets, varying tires, on a scale of power to weight ratios. This is an S2 car, so it runs a 225/45/15 Maxxis RC1. Exterior modifications are a pretty simple air dam. It's got to be within 5 degrees of vertical from the front plan view of the car when you're shooting down from above.
Dan, are you able to make these air dams on your own?
You can.
Competitors?
That's why they look so janky. It is not the most beautiful approach, but it is cheap and it is fast.
Yeah. And then for the rear, you run just a simple spoiler. You have the Blackbird Fabworx one.
Correct. Yeah. We do a duckbill spoiler. You can make your own again, but I like Blackbird's product. This is the new Black Edition. Modi released this year. It's got all the black hardware and the Maxxis tint in black. Not much going on in here again. Custom cage with footwell bars. Everything else is pretty standard.
You have a roomy cage. It's nice.
It's a nice cage.
It actually works really well.
I had a kit cage before this and despised it. So when I picked up this tub, it went immediately to the custom cage builder.
Kit cages suck. They really do. They're claustrophobic. They're compromised. Maybe suck is a strong word. I still think they suck.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do it. Go to a cage fabricator. It's way more comfortable. Get the car built around you. So Dan, why is the car called Button?
This car is named Button for the track Button Willow, which is where the NASA championships were, Western States championships were at last year. We kind of put the car through a whole revamp. We put a built motor in, a 0-point NASA motor. I ran a 4.7 OS Geekin diff for the PTE championships. And we kind of set the car up for Button Willow. It had a really funky alignment, asymmetric ride heights and everything. So it was basically purpose built just for Button Willow, just for NASA, and that was when I named it Button.
.5 on the right, 32 in the rear on the other side, and 33.
Yeah, it's pretty loose.
So?
Yeah, looser, yeah.
Sure.
So his tires are hot.
Yeah.
I pulled another full turn out of the brake bias and 2 more quick set of shocks.
Front and rear?
Rear.
Yeah. There we go.
You might have to sit on green. Yeah.
So we've done 2 sessions in the car. Lots of setup changes have been made, which kind of brings us to the whole reason we're here. Dan just finished the car on Wednesday. So basically Wednesday car was set up for SuperMiata and double dipping into NASA, correct?
Yep.
So made a lot of changes from his NASA setup, which I'll kind of let Dan talk about here.
So we raced the car last in October, parked it all winter. It's been sitting until about February, and we pulled the motor out. The motor that was in this car is now in Emilio's Bullet. Pulled the OS Geek and diff out, put a Torsen back in it for SuperMiata rules, and we took it to the dyno to set up all the horsepower cap, tune maps, various ones. I've got 140 horsepower map for SuperMiata. I've got 153 horsepower map for NASA. And then another thing we do for NASA is we set up a map at plus and minus 2 horsepower in 2 or 3 different increments each way to compensate for weather on the day of the NASA races.
We did bring a lot of E85 with us. We have gone through 2 full jugs, and we are doing double sessions with the car. So Dan gets out, or Dan goes out first, brings the car in hot. We do a quick driver change, do some note taking. We'll do our tire pressures. Dan grabs the tire temperatures, which, Dan, where are those notes? Let's show them those. Kind of show them what we're doing here.
They're pretty crude. So taking ambient temps, start of the session time, and then we're taking hot pressures right off the track. So this was straight off the trailer, rushing to grid, last car out, a little late, came in, tires were all funky, not 2 tires matched each other on air pressure. Car was pretty loose all the time when not braking, extremely loose post turn in. The way to drive a Miata fast is to just really huck it in on trail braking and maximize corner entries and mid-corner speed. So when it's loose there, you're gonna be slow. Car was a handful, so we dropped all the tires to an even 30 PSI hot, and then Sean went out and drove it. When he came back in, tires were pretty even, came out at 33 all the way around. Maybe a little high if we're doing everything by the stopwatch, but that was by the pyrometer. Still loose under trail braking, so we pulled 2 clicks out of the rear shocks and a half turn out of the brake bias. Sean said it felt pretty good. Next session we came back in, tires were a little asymmetric again, but that's due to the banking. Still felt really good. Again, still loose under trail braking. Pulled another turn out of the brake bias adjuster and 2 more clicks out of the rear shocks just to get it to calm down so that we can get back on the gas mid-corner and try to keep up with, I feel like every car in my group is a V8 with like 700 horsepower.
Yeah, Dan's in red group, so he gets to go play with all the supercars. I'm in green group, and there's still a lot of Camaros and really fast cars. So on the front straightaway over there, you kind of got to watch out for them. This track, it's really important to be aware of who's on track, especially the speed differential that can occur between a 140 horsepower car and a 600 horsepower car.
Yep. So the notes are crude, not super scientific, and it helps having a second driver. That way we can, when we're swapping drivers and we come in hot, someone's ready with a pressure gauge and a pyrometer. But it really just helps you double dip the car. That way you get double the seat time. You get to try twice as many changes in one day of work. And we're getting the car to where it feels okay. And we're running SuperMiata mid-pack times already.
Please.
Dan, what you doing here?
S3 car, which is
Something I'm not happy about.
Yeah, what's that?
We're making too much downforce.
street seems like 4.
So we're sucking the Undertray is getting sucked down far enough that our Airdam is coming up. Even though I let it hang down a couple inches to make little gurney flap, whatever you want to call it, on the underside of the Undertray, it's sucking the Undertray up into the cavity here.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Dan, what's going on here?
I've been peer pressured into racing.
I just gave up my last session so this guy could go qualify. Better get ready, Dan. You got 5 minutes.
I know.
How was the rest of qualifying? How did the car feel?
Tires are way better. So we threw on a set of less used tires. These tires now only have 7 heat cycles.
It's pretty good.
Which is much better shape than what we ran on all day.
Looks like you did a 203.1.
It was bad. Yeah,
So
there's a 201 in the car. I didn't get a good lap.
Yeah.
I had traffic everywhere, and
It is what it is.
Yeah, that's HPD qualifying.
Mid-pack, right? Dan, how you feeling?
Excited.
Starting 9th out of 16th.
Yep.
Not really a legal car though, right? It's overweight.
Cheater. Yeah.
Underweight, overpowered.
Maybe. It feels pretty slow.
Yeah, it does. It does actually.
You drove it.
It is slow. Definitely compared to my car.
Alright, Dennis. Just need to convert.
One piece of advice for everybody, Sonny.
Always flat out.
That's right.
Yes.
Mr. Dan.
What's up?
See you out there.
Sounds good, man.
The races are about to start. There's a V8 group of racers. Don't remember the exact class, but cars look pretty rad. They're going to be starting in front of the SuperMiata guys. And what can I say? It's been a great day at the track. Thanks, Dan, for letting me drive your car. It's been fun hanging out with the 9for9 Racing crew and the Maxxis SuperMiata guys. A bunch of great drivers. Here comes the soundtrack of America.
Just shut off. Like something electrical became disconnected or something.
You really didn't want to race anyways, right? You got your way. Well, unfortunately, Dan's race came to a quick end. There's some mechanical issue. Car won't fire up. No power. Don't know what happened. But, Dan, your consolation prize for the day, premature landing. You didn't want to race anyways.
What we got?
Whatever you
Winter
want.
Spiced Mocha Stout. Oh, Sculpin?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Thanks for letting me drive. We'll see you next
Thanks for
time.
not breaking my car.
Yeah, at least I didn't
leave
break
that to
it. Yeah, you did that one.
I don't know what happened, man.
Wasn't me.
We'll see.
That's the key.
Peace, YouTube.
Later.